Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P-Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab where I do what I do for you. Ain't nothing on but the pyramids. I look a little bright up in there. I don't know how I look over there, but I'm looking bright. Sorry about that, but let's go. I got something nice for you today. Oh, I'm about to pick a bone with a few people who may not like this concept, but you know how I feel. Let's go. Rightism, 25 rule to live by. Storytelling, story with a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I hope it's working out for you. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right thinkers mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers' way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. That's my mission. Is that all right, thinkers? I appreciate you all. Know thyself. That's what you come here to get. That's what I'm here to do for you. I do what I do for you. All you gotta do is come and get it and then make it do what it do for you. It will, trust me. All right. So I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical. But if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's also what I do for you. Get you to know you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and thinks that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself. And to my yacht, be true. Right thinkers, the title of this lesson is The Egyptian Yoga Perspective on Death. And its influence on the Gnostic Christianity. Take the earplugs, I get keep ringing in my ear for some reason. I can't deal with that. Okay, excuse me. But the title is telling you we about to have a discussion. It's going to be a disagreement at a certain point about a philosophical point of view. Let me point it out to you. See what you think and feel about it. Let's go. Now, Egyptian yoga, aka right thinking philosophy, is the disciplines and they're based on, I keep telling you, ancient Egyptian mysticism, which promotes spiritual enlightenment, aka knowledge of self, to know thyself. Spiritual enlightenment means what? A movement towards transcending death. How you gonna do that? Yeah, as I get done, you'll understand. But transcending death means you're not gonna cheat or beat death. You understand in this phase of life, if you're born, you're going to die. The physical body. Spiritual enlightenment means you had understanding of the astral body, which is the spirit that's inside the physical body that don't die with the physical body. This is a lesson in philosophy about death and what we think and feel about the transition in life from death. Okay, understanding is ways that you can defeat death. Watch this. Now, in this context, death is not regarded what as a miserable event. No, it's a phase of life. But if you're ignorant of who you are, which is spiritual beings, can't not die, so you think you're a human being, so death is the biggest thing you fear, while as humans, you're being controlled and manipulated because of that one aspect right there, ignorance. I'm trying to help you from being caught up in that nonsense and free yourself to be your best self and to know yourself. But watch this. A transition. Death is not a bad thing. It shouldn't be seen as miserable. event, but as a what? Transition into what? You ready? A higher form of being. If you think death is the end, then you think this is it. Au contraire, mon frère. Again, if you have spiritual knowledge, understanding, you will know what? There's a higher form of being if one's what? If your earthly life, with the physical life we live in now, have been what? Lived. Here we go, right here. This is the purpose for religion. If your life has been lived what? In accordance with the teachings of my girl, Mayat, from our ancients, what happened? In ancient times, the ancient Egyptians were often referred to what? By people other than themselves, their neighboring countries, as the most religious or spiritual people of all the world. High praise from other people. Okay. Why? Because they seem to, watch this, here we go, right here. They seem to constantly affirm spiritual principles, aka Maya, where in every aspect of their lives, this is not to be considered what we know now as what? Fanatical existence. You got a bunch of Jehovah Witnesses, and every group of people got fanatics. They just hell bent on that. That ain't what how we did it. Maya philosophy keeps you what? Low key, moderation, equanimity. So there's no whole bunch of nonsense. Okay, so watch this. Now, the way we see people today, the cults are obsessed, fundamentalist religious groups of our time running around wanting everybody to be like them. That's just a waste of your time and energy. The ancient Egyptians, what? We recognize the fact that there is a higher reality beyond the physical world. That's what spiritual enlightenment is all about. Understand the spiritual world, the spiritual aspect, and it's all mental. If you're stuck in the physical, you're earthbound. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, but we got to get out of the human experience to go back to the spiritual beings, which we are, to go back home, which we come from, heaven. Since I'm gonna break that down to you, all this coming up. Now, since all living beings must what? Die. Nature, that's nature's way. Excuse me, I'm getting excited. Someday we all going to pass on. Okay. Love the guy, but no death is imminent for him too. To make a difference. All right. But and you have to what? Move into what? That other reality. What's other reality? Is it heaven or hell? Where am I going? You are the dictator of that. Remember, you the captain of this ship. You run this show. You the avatar. The body is your avatar. You what's in it. You make it do what it want to do. Whatever you choose it to do, that's what it's going to do. That's free will. Okay. And watch this. It makes sense to what? To seek, to at least understand and become what? Comfortable with death. Pinning that right quick. For some reason, everybody felt like the Egyptians was obsessed with death. No, we just understood it as a part of life. You can't get around it. No. But you can't get around the fact that it's going to happen. Being shot, killed, that's all intangible. But the fact that if you live a good lifestyle of doing what you need to do, progressing through the things in life and doing what you need to do, enjoying life, taking care of others, doing the formula been laid out since ancients. They've been practicing this for thousands of years in peace and harmony. We ain't been in harmony since we ain't had peace with nobody. So that mindset works for me. Why? That's why I went to get. How could y'all do that? I'm finding out. So now my job is to try to get us to understand, and maybe we can adopt it, and some of us do better. I see my right thinkers are doing better. Okay, moving on. But watch this. Get comfortable with death. Why? It's gonna happen. Come on, man. Don't. I'm scared to die. You're a fool. And watch this. And watch this. And to revere the supreme divinity, God. If you know God, if you are a true believer of God and know a God, you won't fear death. Watch, which was what? Discovered to be what? The author and sustainer of all creation. That means after this physical life is over, something else is going on. They call it the afterlife. We call it death, heaven, and hell, but they knew what it was about. Watch this. So therefore, death, again, should not be viewed as a pathetic event, but as an inevitable occurrence for which one should be prepared for and can even, if you understand it, look forward to. What the hell? I look forward to dying. Yeah, well, if you ain't living, that's what you're doing already dead, okay? So death only comes to those who live, and those who live never die. Figure that one out, okay? Now, the creators of the ancient Egyptian mythology and religion recognized that if people lived their lives, watch this, independent of spiritual acknowledgement, what happened? Life will lose its focus, and human beings will be lost, will lose what? Lose their way. That's the purpose of religion, to keep us in due bounds, to keep us in some kind of frame of mind of doing what's right and what for reward. If doing good didn't have reward, what was the person doing good? And being bad didn't have its punishment, then that wouldn't have a purpose either. So they come with a price. Okay, it's called consequences. Now, if they lost their way because of lack of knowledge of self, spiritual knowledge, and what my man said in the Bible, watch this. As a people, we've been doing this over 2,000 years and still doing the dumb stuff. The Egyptians lived over 4,000 in harmony with the good stuff. Don't like them odds. Moving on. So watch this. Now, they will get caught up in what? If we didn't have rules and regulations, the Maya philosophy lived by, what happened? We'll get caught up in what? The pettiness of human life. Excuse me. I keep telling you, we're spiritual beings. If we are spiritual, that means we are God. If we believe and think that we're human beings, we don't have a clue to who we are. So we are lost. And watch this. You become petty human beings, and you what? You are egoistic and will lead you to untold what? Sufferings, both in life on earth as well as beyond. Why? Because if you take your bad with you into the next lifestyle, you're going to suffer with it there too. Don't make a difference. Therefore, watch this. Life should be a process of affirming the spiritual reality and even a worship of the divine. That's the aspect and concept of God, doing the right thing, being a good person. Why? God will bless you for that. In this manner, life itself becomes what? A spiritual movement where? Towards enlightenment and a process of promoting prosperity and inner peace. Don't you want to be happy? Some of us do, but don't know how to find it. Looking at it all the wrong places and going about it all the wrong ways. So we'll never attain it. If your goal is to go somewhere, you supposed to go north and you go south, you're gonna have a problem. For more insights, you need that in life. Watch this. Into the nature of death. How about this? In light of what? The Per M. Haru. Remember that book? Let's get a lesson about that. The philosophy. You'll see they have a section of that book that's entitled Readings for the Guidance of the Dying Person and Their Relatives. And the readings for the guidance of what? The spiritual aspirant, which is you. It says, Ba, Ah, Pet, Shat, Ah, Ta. What the hell? All right, let me translate it for you. And what he does is he gives you the trilateral translation. So he break it down for you. So it's real simple to first you understand it, then you can give it to somebody else. All right. So it is the hieroglyphics is the first one. And then he put the wording to the hieroglyph, which is the second one. I just read the second one. So I can't read hieroglyphic, but he read it for me. I practiced that. And now this is what the translation comes so you can understand it. It says, soul is to heaven, body is to earth. Now this was from the pyramid text, the Per M. Haru of the pyramid text. You know when? 3200 BCE to 2575 BCE, before the Bible was even written. So moving on. But here when the problem comes. Now we about to get to the problem. Watch this. Because we knew that. So that passage I just read you above, it showed that the fundamental teachings, watch this, from our ancient period of ancient Egyptian mystical philosophy never held a hope for, you ready? A physical resurrection. Then Easter just happened. Everybody talking about how Christ rose. He rose. He rose. Oh, I'm about to get into all that. Like to punch a hole in that little bubble of nonsense. This understanding of a physical resurrection caused a problem. Wow. Because this understanding was carried over into Gnostic Christianity, which is the original Christian concepts. They had the concept like we did. The spirit goes to heaven, body to earth. We just read that. We've been knowing that since 3000, before the Bible was even put into existence. But watch this, which developed, watch this. Now, the Gnostic Christianity developed in ancient Egypt during what? The Roman period. Remember I told you, I mean, the history period right quick. Let me give you a little feedback on that. When the Greeks came and took us over from 32 on down, they ran the show for about 3,000 years. Okay, down to Romans. The Romans knew that one thing. They wasn't intellectual like the Greeks, like the Egyptians. They wasn't too smart like the Greeks, but they can fight. So they took over power by fighting. They came and took over power. And because they was in power during the time, we tell you right now, what happened? They took over everybody's belief system and what? And it became a source of controversy between the Gnostic Christians and who? What they call themselves Orthodox Christians. Who are that? The Romans. Okay? They call themselves Orthodox Christians. And the main difference between, you ready? Of Orthodox Christianity and the other religions seem to have been the insistence on a physical resurrection from the dead. I've been dying to get this out. I've been dying. We keep seeing all these movies where the dead come back to life, the zombie. That's what it would look like if the bodies came back to physical form. But guess what? That's not what happened. They disintegrate back to minerals into the earth. That's why you put them there. They're not going to come back. Okay, let me explain this one to you. How about this? I love Egyptian philosophy. I personally love it. But guess what? They was wrong about one thing. That right there. The physical body ain't doing nothing. So you can mummify it. You can save the parts of it. It ain't doing jack. And we find that out every time we go into the tomb and find it, it's still there. Excuse me. But the body don't go nowhere. So when you tell me that they came back and he rose, yeah, he rose ass up and got out the tomb, or somebody took him out, the God ain't come get him. I can tell you that. So that story don't work. It don't prove out nothing. It's a hypothetical, mythological, allegorical story that y'all try to make literal. You can't do that for that one either. Moving on. Sorry about that. Like a little tense about that. And watch this. Now they got a problem. Why? Well, we think the dead gonna rise. 144,000 Christ come back. He gonna cause his warriors. Are you crazy? Sorry about that. Whoa, I got a little. That is unbelievable to me. So I don't subscribe to that, as you know. But watch this. Now, while other religions proclaim a spiritual transformation of some kind, okay? I'm with this part. Watch this. Other ones claim some kind, but the Orthodox Christians, Roman Catholics, fervently believe. Watch this. They didn't know, but they fervently believed and still to this very day believe in what? A mysterious bodily resurrection from the grave. I don't care what religion you profess. Could care less. If you believe that, then you just wrong. Simple. I don't care about nothing else. No. If that's what you believe, I got something that I know. And I know that ain't what it is. So your belief don't hold water when it comes to knowledge and truth. So y'all wrote a whole book based on this belief, and you got a whole bunch of people following it and still stuck on stupid with, cause you was asinine to believe something that ain't and gonna make it because you got the power and the right to do that. That's why parenting, because you believe something, don't make it right, don't make it true, or just mean that you believe it. That's being subjective. Moving on. And that's what the religions are, subjective. Watch this. Let me show you. Now you got the Gnostics. The Gnostics stands for knowing, not believing. Gnostic Gospel of Philip strongly refutes the Catholic view of the bodily resurrection, calling it what? Like I am, calling those notions ridiculous and more important, just misunderstood. How about that? We could just, it's a misunderstanding, but unless you correct that misunderstanding, watch this. These notions, ridiculous and misunderstood by who? The Orthodox community, which is again, Catholicism, Roman Catholics, the Bible writers. The following excerpt from the Gnostic Gospel of Philip brings home this point. I'm loving this. Those who say that the Lord died first, watch this, wrong again, and then rose up. Oh, he rose. Yeah, and that's an error. Why? For he rose up and then he died. He was conscious. He became Christ conscious before he died. He didn't die and become Christ conscious. Come on now. Like my man would say, come on, somebody. Yeah. All right, yeah, give me some feedback on that one. Mr. I'm Christ conscious. Mr. I'm Orthodox Christian. Come on, Pentecostal, whatever you come on, I'm listening. But watch this. We are to receive the resurrection when? While we are alive. That's my point about teaching, knowing thyself. You need to have that before you die. I gotta calm myself down. I got excited. Yeah, I'm ranting right now. I'm ranting, but I'm trying to make a point, so I gotta calm it down and get it back to teaching lesson. So let's go. But you cannot have a physical resurrection after death. Ain't happening. Never happened. Never will. Many Egyptologists, watch this, have suggested that the ancient Egyptians embalmed their dead, with the idea, here you go right there, that the dead person would attain immortality. Not physical immortality. You can embalm it, it'd be right there. But that's nothing. We figured that part out. But they thought the spirit was going to come out to the body. If I'm 90 years old and I die, I get to be resurrected again. I don't want that 90-year-old body. Give me a new fresh one. I'll take that. But that was the concept. The body ain't doing nothing. It's a one-shot deal. Okay, it's disposable. How about that? All physical bodies are disposable. Moving on. So it don't go to heaven. No. Don't tell me that, please. And that the ancient Egyptians believed that the physical body, which was mummified, would what? Rise up again someday. Yeah, in Nairobi, okay, on the 35th of November. This idea, watch this, spurred your many Hollywood movies. That's where that comes from. That's where it comes from. Bodies raised up out the grave, body just up. I see that nonsense. I see it. But that's all the Hollywood movies. And the best one is, y'all see this Cecil B. DeMille's, the Red Sea parting, and the Christians walking through, and then Pharaoh's army getting engulfed. That's Hollywood. That never happened. Moving on, just got to show you. So they put that picture in your mind. So whenever you think about the rest of it, I remember that. It didn't never happen. Moving on. But that's the concept that they draw in your mind. The statements above from the early and late periods of ancient Egyptian culture clearly shows that the ancient Egyptians never sought a bodily resurrection or eternal life in the physical body. They understood death as a passageway to the next existence. And just as the physical body needs nourishment, the spiritual body was also provided for by what? means of a subtle essence of the solid food that was also buried with the mummy. Quick joke. Chinese man, Chinese guy come up, set his table out, put the food out there, get it ready. Brother come up, lay out the flowers, do his thing. Chinese man get smart and say, yo, my man, you think she gonna come up and smell those flowers? At the same time they come up and eat that food. So whatever it is you do that symbolizes what you do that and don't worry about the other person. Why? They might see something in what you're doing. Again, ain't nobody perfect, but how you mourn and how you celebrate, how you worship, everybody does it different. That's the concept. That was the joke. Get you to understand. We all practice something, and everybody else might see it different. That's all. Moving on. But now here we go. The Catholic Christian Church. Dun 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 dun. Here come the death now. Fathers gradually moved away from a mystical interpretation of Christianity. Here is the fall of your concept right here. And they formed a religious doctrine based on bodily resurrection from death. This is the Bible that you practice. This is the Bible that you love so much. This is the Bible that you think God wrote, the words of God. No, they just told you. We had this concept before the Bible was even written. And when the Bible was being written, they didn't like our concept, so they wanted to change it. So now you got a Bible that's pretty much corrupt and errant because of the people who wrote it didn't feel the same way about the people who was teaching them what they should have been learning. Let's go. The Catholics, watch this. And when they had this bodily resurrection concept, leading to one's what? Existence in heaven, this concept of the right hand of the Father. Boy, it just gets more and more ridiculous. Okay. I guess Christ is up in heaven, holds in the hand and all, but he the right hand. Really? That's what you're telling me. God, the Gnostics, Christian leaders, what happened? Disagree with who? With this view. The same predicament was experienced when in Islamic countries when during the years the immediate following of the death of Muhammad. Whenever the leader dies, the little peons, everybody want to bring their little 2 cents and change and make what they want. When the Christians, Catholic Christians, decide to write the Bible, watch this. Most of us was illiterate. Moving on, just a little tidbit. The problem of human existence is what? Is the forgetfulness of the divine essence of the self. Right there. Put a pin there. My whole goal is to teach you to know yourself so that way you get familiar with what's going on and not caught up in superstitious lies and beliefs that don't lead you nowhere but right back here again. You go to the light. Quick lesson. If you at near death, go to the dark. Well, you couldn't listen. Yeah. Okay. Trust me. From now on, go to the dark. That's where you come from. The light is back here. You don't believe me? When you get near death, take the walk to the dark and see what happens. You ain't coming back. You go to the light, you back here. Oh, no. Yeah, trap door. Moving on. Quick lesson. But when you have forgot who you was, that's what we are. As humans, we're spiritual beings. But the human part gives us what? Amnesia of who we are. Hence, know thyself. And out of all the stuff that our Egyptians knew, and they knew a lot, out of everything they did, and they did a lot, they left us this small decree. Know thyself. That counts more than anything they did, built, or said. Why? Because it can legacy that will continue on and on. If we lose that, we are done as a people. So forget being human, be spiritual. Become enlightened to know thyself. And watch this. Let me show you the difference what happened. When you have divine, you forget the divine essence of yourself and the identification. You identify with the body as yourself. That's just being ignorant of your higher self. And we all are victims of that who are in that mode. That's all. Moving on. But through concern with the body and its needs and desires, that's human. The true self, what? Becomes identified with what? Worldly concerns and the fulfillment of desires of the body, mind, and senses. This is the development of what? You ready? The ego. Here you go. Ding, 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 ding. And individual soul. The soul don't know. The ego is in control. This identification with what? Your desires of the bodies, the carnal sins is what leads you, your soul, to what? Further ignorance of its true self. It's being led down that road that ain't gonna be good, okay? It is the pursuit of desires that keeps the mind occupied with what? Worldly thoughts, such as the fear of disease and, more important, death of the body. Well, I'm scared to die. You're a fool. The pursuit of pleasures and happiness and the eradication of things which cause what? Displeasure. You think you know what you're doing. Well, I don't like that because it don't make me feel good. I like that because it make me feel good. I don't like him because he don't look good. I like her because she look good. That's all ignorant, asinine mentality that we all live through on a day-to-day basis. Moving on. I'm trying to get through this. I see the clock running. Good. Now, I'm going to take this through right quick. Now, Gnosticism, Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, right thinking philosophy, and all ancient Egyptian religion all emphasize what? The need to practice, you ready? Detachment and dispassion. I teach that all the time. Toward what? The body. Don't get too attached to this damn thing. Okay? But you also have to take care of it. These disciplines relieve what? The pressure of what? Your lower desires, the physical desires, and raise them up, which impel a person to what? Run after the illusions. We call it skirt chasers of life. Yeah, pleasures of the flesh. We all do it, male and female. Nobody's immune to it unless you what? Raise your conscious level and you don't fall for the nonsense. That's all you gotta do. But these traditions hold that what? Only through detachment is it possible to calm the mind enough for what? To perceive the transcendental reality. God tell you, you run around, steal yourself. I tell you, meditate. Same thing. And know that God is in control. If you can't do that, you don't know nothing. So moving on. You're ignorant. Again, you just don't know. Don't mean they know. You just don't know. Moving on. The constant preoccupation, watch this. Preoccupation with what? The body is insanely reinforced through what? Many years, you ready? Of living with family and others in society. Such body consciousness leads to the conviction that what? That the psychophysical complex, meaning the mind and body, is now indeed what? The self. You figure that out? Okay, now let's get to rolling. It is this idea that is to what? Be dispelled through the spiritual discipline of what? Constantly turning toward the divine. How? Through the various disciplines of right thinking philosophy, yoga, philosophy. Now, instead of what? To the body and to the world of illusions. Make yourself worth more than something just a physical being out here just going on with the program. Become spiritually enlightened and be different. Be a right thinker. Right this. Let me wrap it up for you. I got you. This process becomes easier to understand through what? Self-reflection on the fact that the body is composed of physical elements which are themselves transient. Okay? So the body you have today is not the same body that you had 9 years ago. Facts. Every cell in your body has been regenerated. Even your bones are different. Now, as surely as people are born, just as surely their body will someday what? Cease to exist, aka die, run out, expire, whatever you want to call it. It is wise to hold on to something that you will definitely lose at some point in time. Don't fall in love. Don't get attached to this thing. Why? It's not going to be here much longer. Understand that. Now, impermanence is a given fact of life. Flowers grow, live and die. Insects grow, live and die. Yet, watch this. People accept these changes. Yeah. But how about this? Why is it that people do not cry when the flowers die, or when a leaf falls from the tree and dies, or for every creature in nature that has died. Why is that? But the fact is that it is not only death that causes fear, what else is it? But the attachment to that which died and has met the what? Met the unknown. We don't know what's going on after we die. So fear of what? Dying or death is due to, you ready? The fear of death is due to the ignorance of one true nature. Mean you're ignorant, you don't know thyself, so death scares you to death. Likewise, people hold on to life no matter how miserable a situation they may be in. Why? Because they don't know the other way of thinking or acting, and also because they have what, this illusion that there is a chance that what, I may find happiness someday, or that may somehow come into some money, hit the lottery, become wealthy. Those are all illusions of what? A human. You can read the papers and see how worldly destroys a person's peace of mind. Why? Through the endless worries. Once you get it, now the big issue is how to keep it, maintain it. Perfect example right here. The endless worries associated with acquiring and investing and protecting it. Quick lesson. Where we at? Oh yeah, Matthew 19:23. They said, Jesus to his disciples, verily I say to you, that it is hard for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. And again, I say to you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. There's a parable there. If I had time, I'd break it down, but I don't, so I got to move on. But it's saying here, that's a Christian Bible, but it says, labor. I just did a lesson. Why I don't do this for money? It says, labor not after riches. I don't do this for the money. First, and think thou afterwards what? Will enjoy them. If you do it for the love of it, you'll enjoy it. And if money comes, you'll enjoy that too. But you do it for the love first, not the money. He who neglects what? The present moment throws away all that he hath. As the arrow passes through the heart, while the warrior knew not that it was coming. Watch this. So shall his life be taken away before he even know that he have it. You go and fight for something you got no use in, but when death comes to you, you don't even have a clue because you ain't even started to live yet. Missing purpose, misunderstanding, going through life, and that ain't the way to die. That's not the way. Like a caterpillar, not turn into a butterfly. A human dying ignorant of himself, the same concept. Moving on, let me wrap it up. Oh Lord. As an even greater illusion comes into play when what? When a person tries to figure out what part of the body that contains the soul. I can tell you right here. Moving on. There is no body part which contains the soul or which can be considered to be the self. No body part can be called me. Yet somehow the conglomerate of thoughts, memories, physical body, and senses is understood to be me. This error, again, right there, or misunderstanding, is the cause for human misery and pain. Why? Because it involves the soul and the mishaps and troubles of the mind body complex and attending desires. If the mind and sense were transcendent, these problems, along with the individual identification with the body mind, would cease, and the true self would be discovered to be the infinite and eternal. This is the discovery of what? Of the saints and the sages. For this reason, they have proclaimed that the soul have been overtaken what? By ignorance of the body of its true self, and due to this ignorance, it is subject to the experience of the pain of human experience. We're here to learn a lesson, not to suffer. But as long as you haven't learned the lesson, you will continue to suffer. And that's the end of this lesson. Hope you got the meaning I'm trying to get to you. But in party, right thinkers, may you live to be 100, me 100 minus a day. So I never know that right thinkers like you have passed Blessing.